Hi there, Laura here.
And Tasha.
And welcome to the Get Organized Day 2 Virtual 2025 Wrap Party. It is hard to believe that the week is drawing to a close. We've had a fantastic week getting so much organizing inspiration, and I've just had so much feedback from people who I know many of you have already been implementing and making changes, and you will continue to do so. So thank you so much for being here. But the fun is not over. We got a lot left. We like to kind of wrap up in a super fun way here. So we've got a lot of exciting things coming up on this live. So we'll have several giveaways throughout. As always, I'll tell you how to enter those in just a moment. We're also going to focus on applying what we've learned and making an action plan. So this is going to be, we're going to put you to work during this, okay? We've got several traits. We're also going to put you to work. You're going to need like something to write on. I have this little mini notebook here and a writing utensil. That's all you need. I mean, or you could even, like, if you want to use your notes app, you know, if you're more of
on your phone, whatever.
But you need some way to write things down. That's really all you need. So we'll be asking you to put together a plan because we want you to leave knowing what you're going to do next, because we got so much information that it can be a little bit overwhelming, and we want to make sure that we actually take action so that we come back here next year having made a lot of progress. And I know that people have done that. Like I've seen in the comments somebody who was like, oh, I didn't realize I've been doing the daily delete on my photos every day since last time I attended. So it'll be really fun next year to see how much progress we've all made and what we have accomplished. And I also want to mention, I want to make sure everyone is aware that when we wrap this up here, the price of the All Access Pass will then be going up to its full price. So it will be going up to the full price of $297. But right now, if you're watching this live, you can still get it for just $49. That is a sixth of the price. I think it's over 80% off, and then it's going to be going up to full price. So if you have had your eye on that pass, you are going to want to make sure, like I wouldn't even wait, like I would go right now and get that done, because like if you bought it tomorrow, you'd have to pay 6 times as much. We don't want that. We all love a good deal.
Exactly.
So we want to make sure you are aware of that. It actually includes lifetime access to everything that you have. So right now after this live, there's only a few more sessions that you can watch that were up from yesterday, and then it will all go away. So if you want to keep watching and revisit or watch some that you missed, you would need the pass. In addition to that, it's not just getting you continued access. It has all sorts of things like audio versions, transcripts, one-page cheat sheets, scanned in handwritten notes. There's loads of extra content, extra bonuses, and all sorts of things. Also, all the lives will go in there. That's been asked several times. We put them in kind of as we go. You might need to give us a couple days to get them all in, but anything that happened live will also go in there. So make sure you do that if you were interested in that and haven't done it already.
There's a couple comments I wanted to call out that I saw. Barbara said, even at $297, the All Access Pass is still a great deal. Because
you're actually right, yes.
112 sessions and all these bonus materials. And then also Lynn said, I went to a few sessions, but with the All Access Pass, I can do 1 a week for an entire year.
Wow, yes, I love that approach, so that you can kind of space it out and focus on just one thing, like 1 a week or something like that with that. And yes, even at the full price, it's still a pretty good deal, because it is, you know, with all the different sessions, like per session, and then considering that you get all sorts of things with every session, plus all these other bonuses, it is a really good deal for those of you who, like me, want a good deal. All right, now let's talk about everyone's favorite, how to enter our giveaways. So we'll be giving several things away. We have over 20 prizes to give away on today's event. So let's talk about how to enter that. There is a link in the description. It's second or third link. We'll also try to put it up. Yeah, it's up on the screen right now. So you can, the links on the screen, you can type in. They are not clickable. Obviously, the links in the description you can click. If for some reason you get any kind of error when you type in that link, go to the link in the description. That should solve the problem. A very tiny percentage of people get an error just with that format of link, basically. And then once you enter that giveaway, you only need to enter one time, and you are entered for everything that we're going to give away on this live. So you just need to enter that once. And when you enter, it's not going to give you a confirmation or anything. It's not going to say, oh, great job for entering. It's just going to take you right back to the live, so you can come right back to where you were. And you'll simply need to enter, I think it's your name, email, and zip code. So it's pretty simple to enter, and then you'll go ahead and be entered for everything that we're going to be giving away today. All right, so let's go ahead and start talking about how to get the most out of this event. So I'll talk a little bit about what we can do with all the information we've learned, how we can kind of categorize it, and then we're going to go through an exercise together where we actually do some writing and make a plan for ourselves. We also have a special treat, video from the speakers that we're going to share.
Yes.
So we got lots of fun coming up. So let's go ahead and dive in to the presentation and talk about how we can get the most out of this event, how to apply what we've learned this week so that we can keep going, keep organizing, keep decluttering, and keep enjoying our lives and homes even more. So it's really important to think about how there are really three main categories when it comes to what you've learned and all the stuff that we have. Three things we can organize. We can organize our spaces and stuff. So that's when like you have your office, your pantry, your literal stuff. And that is probably what most of us think about when we think about organizing. We think about the literal spaces and stuff. But in addition to that, we also have information. So many types of information that we can think about. So like the things you've learned, the actual videos, the transcripts, that's all information. Or things like what are the measurements of my kids? Because, if I go to order them something online, what size should I order them? You would think that stuff would be standard, but truly it is not. That type of information. When is my next doctor's appointment? What's if something goes wrong in my house and I need to call a plumber, what plumber have I used before that I actually like? And all that type of information is a separate category. And the way we treat each of these categories is a little bit different. And then the third category would be organizing our time, like time management, productivity, all those things. And I like to point out when it comes to organizing our time or time management, that's a phrase that we use all the time. We all kind of know what that means. It means I want to be able to make sure I'm doing the best things, that I'm getting the most done, that I'm really feeling satisfied with how I've spent my time and how I've spent my days. But when it comes to time management, we can't actually manage time. The time is the same for everyone. In 1 hour, it will be 1 hour later. There's nothing I can do to change that. It is what it is. So when we are managing time, we are really managing ourselves. We are managing what we're doing. And it's both in terms of being intentional, of making sure that we don't just get to the end of the day and I don't really know what I did, or I didn't really do what was most important to me. And then when we do identify those priorities and we decide how we want to spend our time, it's getting ourselves to actually do it. So I might say that health is really important to me, and I set a goal to get outside and go on a walk for 15 minutes a day, but that's one thing and that's good. But then if I don't actually do it, I'm also not managing myself to actually get it done. So that's kind of what we mean by time management. So these are the three main categories. So let's go ahead and talk about organizing your spaces and stuff. So, all right, when it comes to this, step one is always decluttering. We've said that a lot, and I think that there's a few overarching truths that we talk about every single year at this event, and that you cannot come away from this event without learning that, and that is this, and that is just because it is so absolutely true. So decluttering means taking an item and removing it from your space forever. It doesn't mean putting it somewhere else. It doesn't mean grouping it together. It means literally getting rid of it. That could be throwing it in the garbage because it's actually garbage. That could be donating it to somewhere like Goodwill. That could be returning it somewhere, like returning it to the store, returning a book to the library, returning it to someone that you have borrowed it from. something like that, but that's literally getting rid of items. And then step 2 is actually organizing and categorizing those items, grouping them together, putting them where they belong, giving every item a home. That's what organizing is. So let's think about the sessions that will help you declutter from this year's event.
There were a lot.
Yes, and this is not even, I don't know that this is even all of them. But if you're really specifically looking for that, I'm not going to read all these off. You can either screenshot it if you're watching on a device that you can screenshot, or take a photo of this slide. We'll have a few of these slides throughout, and the idea is that you would screenshot or take a photo. And if you're specifically wanting to tackle that, these are some sessions that if you have the pass, you can refer back to help you with that step. So there were just so many great sessions this year, like every year, on decluttering.
But I feel like even more than some years, because
Yes.
like we not only talked about decluttering, and so we had a lot on getting started decluttering. I was really excited about the sessions that went to like that next step of, okay, I've gathered the stuff I want to declutter, but like that one in the middle there, where to donate your decluttered items, like what do you do? Or I know Jess, it's next one on the list, when and how to sell what you've decluttered. Like I love that it's kind of taking it to the next level with those.
Yes, so we're going, a step further, because sometimes you don't know what to do with those items. There was also one on shuffling clutter.
Yes.
And that resonated, just the title of that, I'm like, oh yeah, I've done that. Like, it's not actually decluttered if I group a bunch of stuff together and I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to get rid of these. And then 2 years later, it's still there. So like some of us do the clutter shuffle.
Right.
So there was one about that. Of course, things about emotional clutter, because like the emotional and sentimental, I think is always the trickiest for everyone. So these are some sessions that you can use to help you with that. And then when we go to the organizing part, here are a few, these may not be all, of the sessions that talk about how to help you organize or tackle organizing projects. So you can go ahead and screenshot, take a photo of this. This would be things like organizing your paperwork, digital organization like your photos, your home, like zoning your home, which was Cass's session last night, crafts, all those kinds of things. We even have one on organizing your pets things.
Yes.
That they can come with a lot of things that you need to organize, all those kinds of things. So you can go ahead and screenshot this. And if you're looking for some sessions to help you tackle some organizing what was I going to say?
Projects.
Yes, I wanted to say programs, and I'm like, that's not quite right. All right, but here's one thing that I want to remind you of. If you were here for the kickoff, we talked about what is required for a space to be organized, and it's really just 2 things. So if anybody remembers that, let us know in the comments what is actually required for a space to be organized. And I know, we already talked about this, but this I think bears repeating. It's really important. And when you come to an event like this, you saw a lot of different people's systems.
Yes.
And it does not mean that your system needs to look exactly like theirs. In some cases, it probably couldn't. Like somebody might tell you how to monthly meal plan, and somebody's going to tell you how to weekly meal plan, and somebody's going to tell you, here's how I meal plan without actually really meal planning.
Right.
And you can't do all of those. You need to find what works for you. So it's not about looking like somebody else's system. It's also not about having your home look like it's ready for a magazine shoot or it's Instagram worthy at any given time. I know that mine isn't. There are spaces. This space is pretty much always looks like this. So there are times when almost the entire house looks relatively Instagram worthy, but there is never times where we go long periods of time where the entire home always looks put together. Like If somebody has mastered that, then fantastic. But I haven't, because there's just a lot going on in life. And so it's not about being perfect. Instead, what we need is for every item to have a home, everyone to know where that home is, and it makes you smile. So it could be nicely labeled bins with fancy labels like you see here behind me. It could be that you have like cardboard boxes, cereal boxes, shoe boxes that you recycle. You could label it or not. It could just be that I would set the items on the shelf. It wouldn't have the same look, but it would still be organized if every time I put my, tech cases up, I set them in that spot on the shelf. So every item just needs to have a home, and that is organized no matter what it looks like.
Yeah, and I really remember from Monday night's keynote session that Catherine did. During that Q&A portion, she was talking about how her husband has a tendency to leave the cabinet doors open in the kitchen. And I just loved that she shared that because I think it's so easy. Even though like we know with our heads, like these are presentations on how to be organized. You know, like Catherine isn't going to film a video and be like, okay, let me take the camera around and show you, oh, look, I got out of bed this morning and this cabinet door was open and these toys were on the floor and all of these things were out of place. Like, we're gonna, like, the goal is to tell you how to be organized, right? But even just with an anecdote as simple as that, like, she also goes around closing cabinet doors that are left open. You know, like none of these people, even the presenters, have perfect houses all of the time where nothing is out of place. And so I just want to make sure that you don't feel like something is wrong with you if you're tidying up or it's not staying put quite the way that you wanted it to, because that is the case for everyone, ourselves included. I think I can speak for all of the presenters this week when I say that as well. None of us have perfect homes, but we are trying to get to where we can manage our homes with less stress and more peace.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, I remember when I first got my own home, like my first apartment, and I thought that the goal was for it to look like Instagram worthy, all of it to look that way all the time. Like I thought that's what everyone else did. I don't know why I thought this, you know, but I thought that that's what everybody did and that was the goal and that's what you were supposed to do. And over time I realized the goal, and I kind of like it when I see signs of us really enjoying our home, when I see a game that's been left out or a craft project that we've worked on, or, you know, dishes because we had a meal and we're living life and we're enjoying it. That is really what it's all about. At the same time, we don't want it to be so overwhelming that you cannot find what you're looking for when it's time to cook, or that you can't, you know, function. But it's not about achieving some special look or keeping everything up. It's about making it to where, like Tasha said, our homes are a place that we enjoy and are not experiencing stress from.
Definitely.
So I think it's important to reiterate that. And again, just what I said, repeating it from the first event. I also loved this. This was actually from last year's Facebook group, but I loved it so much I wanted to bring it back here. So this is what an attendee posted that they worked on organizing their spices. And she even commented and said in her comment about this that it's not like the matching bins that you might see on Instagram, but it's perfect for her because she can see everything that she has. She knows where it is. She can use it. And I could not love this like post anymore, because that is what it's about. Some of you might want matching spice jars, and that's fantastic. But for her, that would be more work. And then look at how many big ones she has.
Right.
Like, how would you'd have to store the extra ones. And so this, and I just love that particular post. And this is not the only one. I just happened to find this one, but I know many of you have similar stories where you're getting organized and it's going to look different for everyone. Now, if you are wanting to go that extra level and add like a little extra touch of decor or extra, you know, kind of beauty to your space, here are some of the sessions, probably not all, that could help you do that from this year. So you can go ahead and screenshot that. And basically how to make things look prettier. And I mean, I love doing that. Like, it makes me really happy when I see, you know, matching labels or matching things. For me personally, I have learned that there are specific places where I want to have that, you know, like behind me here.
Here we go.
My spices, I actually do love the uniformity of spices, and it's kind of easier than in some cases because you're just, you know, putting them all in those jars. But there are other places that, like, for example, my extra storage room, like, we don't need everything to match in there. That's okay. So I kind of have my spaces that I want to be like my really pretty spaces, and I have other spaces that I'm like, I just want these to be really functional.
Yes, for sure. And I think that's just really important to, if you like this aesthetic, if you like things being labeled, color-coded, all in matching containers, to pick out a few spaces in your home where that might work well. Start with just a few. Don't go into it saying, I have to do my entire home like this, but okay, maybe it's the spice jars. Maybe there's a shelf in your office, because the nice thing is, I mean, like, yes, we pull things off of these shelves. Okay, like there's actual useful stuff in these containers back here, but it's not like your mugs that you're using every day or something, right? Like we're not getting into every one of these bins behind us every single day. And so that makes a really big difference. It's a lot easier to leave it like that when you could probably go a couple of weeks and never have to pull one of those off of the shelf. And so looking for those spots in your home where you can add these labels and decor and really, if you want that, have that like elevated, organized look, but not feeling the pressure that every single space in your home has to look like that.
Yes, totally. So I want to hear from you all. What was your favorite tip for organizing your spaces and stuff that you heard or learned throughout the week? What was it that really stuck with you for organizing your stuff?
Okay, well, can I just say that I was super excited to find out that I had no idea that one of our favorite organizing bins is also one of Cass's favorite
I had no idea.
Like, not planned, not at all. So if you followed along with Get Organized HQ very much, you've probably heard us talk about the multi-purpose bin from the Container Store. I don't know. You probably can't really see them. They're at the bottom of the shelves behind us. It's not the white bins that you see above us. But just if you were on the live last night, it's just a large plastic bin. I had no idea that that is also Cass's favorite organizing bin. I mean, it's just a really good bin, really versatile, really good for putting stuff into. So, I mean, I don't know if that's exactly an organizing tip. I was maybe just like, yeah, like Cass likes the same organizing bin we do.
I almost felt validated because, I mean, she's a legit professional organizer who goes and organizes people's spaces, and she's like, yeah, this one is awesome, and it is my favorite. I mean, I have entire videos dedicated to it, and I love, this is a total aside, but I love that it's now a dupe. More dupes are coming out of the market.
Yes.
It used to be you could only get it at the Container Store, and it was actually one of their more reasonably priced items, which I love. But not everyone has a Container Store, and it's just harder to access. And now more and more dupes. Walmart has a dupe for some of them, and Target has an amazing. Like I have another video where I literally compare them.
Yeah, Target has a really similar.
And
one.
I like that because Target, like I can just walk in and get it. So
yeah, because from where we are, the Container Store is not. Close.
It's like 45 minutes probably at least. So yeah.
And the Container Store does ship to US and Canada. So like you can order online, but sometimes it's just nice to like go and be like,
or maybe and also at least in the past they've had like a $75 order minimum for free shipping. And I mean, nobody loves to pay shipping, right? And so, if you only need a couple or something like that. So what are people saying?
Okay, yes. So I saw, love the ideas for photo storage from Miss Freddie. Yes, that was a super just practical session. Like there's just so much you can come away from that one, and you are bursting with an idea of something to do with it, which I love. The idea of creating a wait and see bin.
Oh yes, that can be really helpful when you're feeling really stuck.
Yes, I'm starting with decluttering the floor first.
Oh, I like that.
So getting everything off that, and also other flat surfaces. Just like, let's get all the flat surfaces decluttered. Let's see. If you needed this item, where would you look for it first? Okay, that is something Dana talks about, I know, a lot. Using turntables for your seasonings and other things, because I have a hard time reaching things sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's especially in those corners. I have turntables, like the corner of my pantry, things could get buried, but by putting that turntable, you can access everything.
I have one of those corner cabinets in my kitchen that is facing you, like you open it up and you're just looking in, and there's like weird wings off the sides and all that, but I have a turntable in the middle, and we put our mugs right there. And so you can spin it and get to the mugs in the back instead of like, I don't know, digging into the back of an upper corner cabinet. Like that never goes well. So
all right. We've got a lot of...
And somebody did mention, I want to check this. I had seen it earlier this week. The Container Store was actually having a sale this week.
Really?
And I want to see if it still is before I announce that on a live.
Okay, yes.
Yes, okay. I went to the Container Store's website right now, and it says 25% off site-wide. So, Target does have a really, really good dupe of those multi-purpose bins. I think they're the Bright Room brand from Target, if I'm right.
And I talked in my video. If afterwards, I'll try to find a link to it because the title is not a comparison, but I go in deep into a comparison. Pricing is interesting. The different sizes of bins are not the same price difference, but I think when the Container Store has 25% off, it might actually be cheaper than Target. Look into that if you're interested. Also, Container Store has no affiliation with us. They are not sponsoring us or any such thing. It is just like
Container Store probably doesn't really overly know who we are. So.
I don't think so, as far as I know. If you're watching, say hi, but I highly doubt it. Anyway, so we just talk about the products that we like genuinely use and love. And these
so
are
is that what you call serendipity? That's like the Container Store is having a 25% off site-wide sale at the same time that we're wrapping up Get Organized HQ Virtual when you're feeling super inspired to go and organize all your spaces.
Yes, and also, as always, it is organizing bins and baskets will not solve all your problems.
Yes.
I'm sure because all of you have come to Get Organized HQ Virtual and learned, that because sometimes it can be really tempting to just be like, oh no, I got a bunch of junk. Let me just go buy a bunch of bins. And that approach usually doesn't work very well.
Yes.
Being intentional about it and being like, okay, here's what I need the bin for. Here's, what the bins are going to be used for. It can be a useful tool, but make sure that you're keeping everything else in mind to declutter first. And then to be strategic about what it is that you actually
buying
need.
bins for a specific space or project, not just buying them to have on hand and store. And also, if you're buying them for a specific project, everyone approaches this differently, but I can tell you what works for me. Intend to take things back. Like, I will even buy things where I'm like, I know that I'm being ridiculous. I do not need 72 multi-purpose bins from the Container Store. But when I buy 72 of them so that I can mix and match them and see what fits in the space once I have them in my hands, like if I had bought like 4 too many, oh man, it's really a hassle to like go deal with a return and all that. And is it really worth it for 4 bins? But when I have 37 extra bins that I don't need, like I'm a lot more motivated to go get that money back. Now you have to know yourself and your personality, but that has really worked well for me because I find with organizing bins, like the best made plans of measuring and all of that, it just still does not always fit in the space like you think it's going to.
Yes, for sure. All right, so let's talk about the next part, which is organizing your information, okay?
Yes.
Now, the main key when it comes to information is not to try to store it in your head, okay? We don't want to try to remember things. We don't want to keep it all in our head. We need either a physical or digital copy with a system. I don't care what it is. I don't care whether you do it physical or digital, but trying to store it all in our head isn't the best approach, okay? And here's the other part. One of the things that is tempting but does not work super well is to chase every system out there and be like, okay, I'm going to try this new system for this and this new system for this. And then this is true whether you have like pen and paper or like physical things or whether you do it digitally. If you have like 12 places where you store information, it can be very overwhelming. So like if I have, a notebook here and a notebook there and then a loose piece of paper here and a sticky note there and like, whoa. And the same is true digitally. Like one thing I keep in my notes app and one thing I keep in Evernote and one thing I keep in this thing over here, it can become overwhelming and I don't know where it is. So the more you can have one clear spot for each type of information, the better. That doesn't mean you can only ever use one notebook in your life, or one tool in your life on, digitally. It just means the fewer is probably better, and you only want one for each type. So like, for example, if I'm organizing my recipes digitally, I'm not going to use Evernote and Apple Notes and an Airtable and a Google Sheet and have some of them saved on TikTok and some of them, like that isn't going to work as well. So I know when I have recipes, that's in my recipe Airtable. If I find something on TikTok that I want to make, I'm going to send it to there. And things like that. So for each type of information, it's best that you know where to go to store, access, and use that information. Because I don't know how many things I have tried to save, but I couldn't really find them when I needed them. So that's kind of my top tip for organizing information. You can store it in a binder, in a notes app. There's all sorts of software like Notion, Evernote, and Airtable, and we're not going to go into all of that. That could be, each of those could be a session in and of themselves. There is no right or wrong. Pick your spot and system for each type of info, and know that no system is completely perfect. It's just not. So pick one, stick with it, and then only change if you have a really, like an actual reason. Like, okay, I'm really not loving that I can't do this. I want to switch to this type of system. And here's just one example that we're going to walk through really quick. I have a binder called the Home Headquarters Binder where I organize a lot of my home information in a binder. And I'm just going to share with you what my categories are. Now, we do have this binder in our shop if you want it pre-made, both the printable and the mail to your door kind. But you don't need this binder. I mean, if you want it, great. But you can just do this with like any binder that you have, any notebook that you have. This is just to kind of give you an idea if you're like, I don't know where to start with some kind of binder. And this is good for those of you who want it physically referenced. Like you don't want it in your phone because you are going to struggle to find it or organize it, but you want something like more, in your hands. And if you're doing this digitally, you could still have, like you could use these as the folders for your notes app. If you're more like, I'm a person who stores things digitally. And just the Notes app on the iPhone, I'm assuming Android is similar. You can have photos and everything, so you could totally do this, there as well. But I have a reference section where I put things like all the information to contact, like plumber and electrician, which you would not believe. Like the other day, we had a problem and we needed a plumber, and I was like, who did we use last time? I remember I really liked them. I was happy with them. And having that readily available is so helpful. So all those kind of things like passwords that you need to remember, that kind of reference. Then I have a food section for meals. You could also put recipes here. I personally don't store my recipes in the same binder with everything else because I have a lot of those. So those are in a separate, but food would be like meal planning, go-to recipes, ideas. You could store things like popular food orders if you're going to DoorDash for your family or pick something up or things like that are the types of things you would have in that. Cleaning, so you can keep track of anything related to that, like your cleaning schedules for your home, a list of sometimes like I want to deep clean a room and I'm like, what is it that I actually need to do? So like lists of the things that you need to do.
And just having that checklist, I think, can help you get going. Like if you walk into a room to clean it and you have to make a bunch of decisions about what to do, you're spending your energy deciding what to clean instead of spending your energy just cleaning. So that's one really nice thing about having like a cleaning checklist. If you feel like you get paralyzed whenever you go to clean something, write down your process, and then when it's time to clean the bathroom, you just go through that. Like, do not think, just do.
And I do get paralyzed and I overthink it. And I'm like, well, if I clean this, I won't have time to do this. And I really should have done this more often. And like, I do get, so having that, and you can also store, if you make your own cleaning products, some people do that. You could store these recipes here. Finance, of course, that's where, if you have a budget, if you have debt that you're paying down, like debt trackers, things like that, you can when you have your bills, when they come out, where you could contact, if you have a problem with a bill, things like that. Then we have, my favorite is celebrations. I feel like a lot of systems overlook this, but these are things like if I'm having a party, like what's all the details I need for that. People's birthdays, there's a perpetual calendar that I keep in here for birthdays and anniversaries. So that's like an undated calendar to where I can remember when birthdays and anniversaries and things like that are. Also self-care. So this is things like health. I also put spiritual things in here, like, tracking Bible reading and things like that. All sorts of stuff related to that. Symptoms. I often want to track, what symptoms am I having and is it related to maybe what I'm eating or how much sleep I'm getting and kind of, figuring some of those types of things out. We also have family reference. So this would be things like schedules, sports schedules. And if you have a 3-ring binder and you have a schedule, you could just hole punch it and put it in there. And if you're doing it digitally, take a picture and put it in there. So things like that, sizes, contact numbers for like, a sports coach or something that we might want to contact. Yeah. I also like having it to where my family knows this information as well, so that if I'm gone or I'm sick or I had surgery or whatever, making it easier for everybody to know. And my personal favorite is having measurements for my family. I've talked about this before because I feel like sizes for any age. I used to think, well, kids, that's standard, right? Like whenever I get them, whatever. No, not really. Some run small, some run big. So knowing what their measurements are, and then I would measure them like every other month because I'd be like, oh, I didn't want to buy you, this thing online. And so having that written down, and I always write down the date that I took the measurement. So I know, oh, that was a long time ago, we need to update it. And then it's just really easy. And I do it for myself as well because I like to order clothing online. And then miscellaneous, there's always going to be, I mean, every system I think needs a miscellaneous category because there's always going to be something that doesn't fit somewhere else. So I hope that this inspires you and just gives you a starting point into making sure that you're keeping your information organized. And you can start with just one. Just start with one section and start building it from there. It's going to take some time, so you wouldn't get there overnight. Here's some sessions for meal planning inspiration. We just talked about, having a section for that. So here's some of this year's that you can screenshot or take a picture of. There were several meal planning sessions and also a lot that related to meal planning and not spending too much money.
Yes.
And I do feel like it is so easy to go to the grocery store and spend like a ton of money. And then I'm like, well, okay, that's fine. It'll last us like a month. And then a week later, I'm like, oh no, we ate it. We got to go again. So I love, the focus on being able to prepare meals without spending too much money. And here's some for finance and budget inspiration. We had a lot of those. Easier ways to save money, paying off debt, all those kinds of things, how to cut your grocery bill in half. So you can screenshot this or take a photo of that if you are looking for more finance and budget inspiration. And then, as we said, the ways to structure it would be a pre-made binder or setting it up for yourself. Either way, totally fine. Now, do you prefer to store your information mostly on paper or digitally? I'm curious, are you more of a pen and paper or are you more of a digital person? I would say I'm quite hybrid. I really do like a good, writing it down. Recipes, oddly, while I have them all stored online because I want to know that they're there and I can access them, and I'm finding so many when I'm scrolling, I don't really scroll Pinterest anymore, when I'm scrolling Instagram or things like that. But, but I still like to cook from a paper copy. I kind of have both, but a lot of things I find I like the digital because it's always with me.
Right.
And I just find it, easier. So I do some of both, but I try to be really clear about where it is. Is this something I've got digital or is this something I have on paper?
Yes, and I feel like different types of information lend themselves to different structures. So when it comes to work, when it comes to us putting together this event, most of what I do, for whatever reason, I like having it in my physical written down planner. That's just what works for me. I like the written to-do list. But when it comes to having a calendar of what is going on, that's something that I probably need to be able to reference away from the house. If we're with friends from church and they want to plan a game night and everyone's like, hey, is everyone available on September 30th to do this thing? I need to be able to pull up my calendar. I don't want to be like, well, let me get back to you when I get home and I get to my planner and I open it up and I look at what's going on my phone that I'm going to carry in my pocket. So don't feel like you have failed if you have systems in multiple places. It's just about defining, these are the things I keep physically, these are the things I keep digitally.
Yes. And I think we have people who are hybrid, more digital, more paper. Either way, it's totally fine. It's whatever you are most comfortable with is what works for you. And then we'll talk a little bit about organizing your time. And as I mentioned already, when we talk about time management, it's really about managing yourself. You can't really manage time. And when it comes to managing your time, there's all these systems and ideas out there, and I think they're all great. But it really starts with managing your days, because it doesn't matter what goal I set, what plan I set, how I break it down for what I'm going to do each month and each whatever, if I can't manage my days and control what I'm getting done in the day-to-day. So if you are feeling overwhelmed with this, I would start with the days. I'm not saying that you shouldn't think about the future, you should, but we want to start with our days. And the way that I like to do this is with the 3-bucket system. I built this system when I was feeling really overwhelmed. I had 2 small kids at the time, very little. I was building a business and I was feeling overwhelmed. And what was really, really frustrating to me is I felt like I had no control. I would be like, well, I need to get this done, but I don't know if it's really going to happen. And I would just feel like that's a very frustrating feeling. And so I developed this system, and it has been working for many years for many people. And I like also that it's very simple, and you can apply it to whatever you're doing. So even if you already have something that's kind of working for you or whatever, you can just layer this on. So the basics of this system are that you have 3 buckets, okay? Bucket 1 is your top 3 to 5 priorities for that day. So These are the top 3 to 5 things that you want to get done. No more than 5, okay? This is hard, but when you do this already, when I decide, let's say the night before or that morning, what my top priorities are, I'm deciding for like the rest of the day or the next day. So I'm not deciding a bunch in the future when I don't know, or I didn't decide what I was going to do 3 weeks ago when I didn't know what was going to be happening. These are the true priorities for today. And if I set just 3 to 5 of those, most days I can actually get those done. And I know no matter what, I'm going to really focus on getting these done. And that helps with the things that are going to keep me up at night. Like, oh my goodness, if I don't pay this water bill, they're going to cut off my water. Or if I don't, wash laundry, I don't know, I'm going to have to be wearing dirty clothes or something. So those types of things will help you get things done that are the most important. Now, optionally, sometimes we add structure to this category with the acronym HOP. So like we're hopping to it for the day. H stands for habit. So I really like to be working on one habit at a time until it becomes a habit. There is no set amount of time. This might be a month, it might be 2 months, it might be 6 months, it doesn't matter. I'm working on that until it feels like a habit. So it could be anything like in this example you see in the planner here, the person has phone after 7, so they're trying to make sure they're not using their phone after 7. So that they have wind down time. So they're really trying to make that ingrained habit. Sometimes it's getting 10 minutes of fresh air a day, or walking, or drinking less, soda or something. Or, the possibilities are endless. Maybe it's doing the dishes every night before you go to bed, but pick one. And then that one's easy because you're going to work on that every day until you feel like it's a habit. And then the O stands for objectives. So that's really about 3 things that are just really need to do's because they're useful and need to happen. And then the P stands for passion, which means we want to make sure that every day we're scheduling in time to refresh ourselves and to fill our own buckets, so to speak. Because so often we just run around doing all these things and we forgot to do something like take a walk, get some fresh air, have a chat with a friend. And often one of the problems is those things feel very unproductive. Like going for a 10-minute walk. Well, I really need to clean the house and I really need to do this work thing. And, so this is a way of helping them feel productive because you're scheduling them in as a priority and making sure that you do something. It can be something that takes a long time. It can be something short, but just that you're doing something every day that is going to fill your bucket. And then the second category, and this is the one that's the easiest, is appointments. So bucket 2 is just things you need to be there for. This is the one that most of us keep better track of anyway. And most of us show up. It's harder to show up for yourself when no one knows, but if you set an appointment like I'm gonna meet you for lunch at noon, you're more likely to show up. So this one's pretty simple and straightforward.
Okay, if you are having sound issues, what they're saying is refresh the page that you're on, and that seems to be fixing it for a lot of people. So I guess I'll say that again in case you were having sound issues when I said that, but we're getting a lot of comments about that. So refresh, just go up to the top of your browser, refresh it, and a lot of people are saying if they refresh the page, it's coming back in a lot more clear.
Yeah, we could probably put that in the comments.
It has. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We've been putting it in the comments. All right, good. So that's helping people if you're having any kind of sound. Sometimes, the internet just has its own quirks.
Yes, and then like for one person, the sound is fine the whole time, and for another person, it cuts out.
Yes.
So
also, okay, this is a total aside, but it relates to sound. If anybody hears clicking, let me know in the comments. So you know how whenever you're going to go on a race, and this relates, you're not supposed to wear new shoes because what if they're, bad for you or whatever. I made the mistake of wearing new earrings today that I have not worn but like one time, and I can hear them clicking like crazy. I think this is a new mic, so I think this mic where it is not picking it up, but if you are hearing it, let me know and I will never wear them on video again. I have earrings that I can't wear on video, but I think the mic has fixed it, but the whole time I'm in my head, I'm like, well, I don't think anyone's commenting that they hear a bunch of clicking, so I think it's okay, but I'm asking if clicking and like here, I'll make it go really loud. Like if you're hearing that, let me know. But I don't think that's a problem. I think there's other, tech is so techie sometimes, but I think hopefully refreshing will fix the problem. And often if you do have any kind of issues, often the replay is a lot better, because it has time to buffer and things like that. Live streaming is the most tech intensive to both watch and broadcast as well. Right. All right, then for bucket 3, we have your wish list, okay? And this is another game changer. So before I use this system, of course I would do the smart productive thing, and I would write lists, and I would, this is what I want to get done today. But instead of it being like a realistic, okay, here's what I can accomplish today, it was really a wish list. This is what I would love to get done. Sometimes I would even try to be realistic. I'm like, okay, I haven't been very realistic about this. So, I'm going to try to take into account that there might be interruptions. I might not feel my best. Something might take a little longer than I had thought. Like I went to pay a bill and oh no, I couldn't get logged in. And then why are they not sending me the confirmation email? And then I got to call somebody, those kinds of things. And so I would try to be realistic, but I still couldn't get it all done. So bucket 3 is everything else you want to get done, but you're calling it a wish list. So I call that the productivity of the day a success, whether I got nothing on this done or whether I got everything. And I find that some days we're firing on all cylinders, things are going well, and I get most of it done or all of it done. Other days, wow, there's a lot of interruptions. I am really I have a really bad headache and things are just not going well and I'm not getting anything of that done. Most days are somewhere in the middle, but no matter what, calling my wish list what it is really the game changer, because now I don't have to feel guilty. It wasn't that I wasn't doing the right things. I was just feeling bad about what I wasn't getting done, even though that wasn't realistic to begin with. So when we call it what it is, our wish list, it makes it so much better. Now we can feel that satisfaction of having gone ahead and checked off bucket 1. We're usually doing 2 anyway. And then that 3 is really our wish list. So this is basically the foundation of the 3-bucket system. Now we offer a planner. Our 2026 planners will be coming out in October. But we offer a planner that integrates it, but you don't have to have the planner in order to do this. We also, if you want it now, we have a printable version as well, but you don't have to have a special planner to do this. You could do it in literally like a mini notebook or any notebook that you have. You could go to the dollar store and buy a notebook and you could do it in there. Or often you can layer, if you do have a planner, sometimes you're able to kind of layer it in there and use this concept with all sorts of things. All right, and we already talked about specifically in bucket 1, we have the habits, objectives, and passions. And you can see we kind of zoomed in there. In this example, their habit is the phone after 7. Their objectives are to edit 3 videos, to do their Amazon returns. Returns often make their way to my bucket 1, because why do I put those off? I don't know. And then every time I do it, I'm like, why did I think that was going to be so hard? Doing their dishes. And then their passions was taking time to do some yoga for that day. So question, have you tried the 3-bucket system? I know we have a lot of people here who probably have. Let us know in the comments if you've tried it, if you found it helpful. Let us know. Or also if you found any great, while you were listening to Get Ordinance HQ Virtual this week, are there any time management tips that really stood out to you? I would love to hear that as well. I feel like I just learned little things here and there that really stand out to me. And I mean, this is not, I don't know if this is exactly time management, but it kind of is related. The idea of doing the daily photo delete. Mm-hmm. I think that is something that I've been working on a lot, and that I was kind of reminded of, that I can do it while I'm waiting for other things. Instead of just mindlessly scrolling, TikTok or something, I can go through my photos and be deleting the ones that I don't need and getting them categorized in the albums that I want them. And I can do that while I'm waiting at the doctor's office. There's just so many times we're kind of waiting for things. And that's a pretty easy thing to do to kind of, make the most of our time. All right, so what are people saying about trying the 3-bucket system and their time management tips?
Let's see. So, I am seeing, this one's talking about the emergency preparedness session, specifically, which emergency preparedness is almost like future time management, right?
Yes, it's future management.
Yes. And so let us see. Let me go through the comments. I think, I'm paused. I was like, that's behind. No.
Oh, you're paused. Okay.
Yes. So one person, they said, I love the planner. I'm on my 3rd year now, and I use the wish list for my big projects rather than things I might try to do that day.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
That's good. All right. Yeah. So I think just, simplifying and making sure that we're prioritizing is really important. And here's some sessions on organizing your time. So if you want to screenshot this and get some ideas of sessions you can watch if you're really working on time management, how to organize your time, you can see there's lots of different methods out there, and you can pick what works well for you so that you can manage your time well. So you can go ahead and, like I said, screenshot it, take a picture of it. And this may not be all of them, but these are some of the sessions, if you have the past, that you can dive into to make some progress on getting your time organized. Okay, now before we move on to the next section where we're actually going to work together to create an action plan, I think it would be a good time for a giveaway.
Absolutely.
All right, so make sure that you've entered the giveaway. You only have to enter it once. There is a link in the description below of the giveaway. And we will go ahead and draw some winners. And the first thing we're going to be giving away, we've got a few more things, don't worry. We got like over 20 things. We're going to give away 10 all access passes. Now, if you win something and you've already bought it, we will happily refund you, or you can choose to gift it to someone else. Okay. So, yeah. So if you've already bought it, don't feel like you're not eligible. We would refund you, or you can gift it to somebody else. But we're going to start with all access passes. And again, that will give you lifetime access to everything, plus like just so many bonuses that we've already talked about. And if you have not already gotten it, remember that it is going up to full price, I don't even know how to say that. It's going up by 6 times when we wrap this up in a little bit. So you'll want to go ahead and do that if you haven't done it already.
Yes.
All right. So we have our winners.
Yes. So the 10 all access passes. Congratulations to Joyce from Illinois, Carol from New Jersey, TJ from California, Nancy from Florida, Linda from Minnesota, Nancy from Michigan, Laura from New Hampshire, Tracy from Minnesota, Yesena from Ohio, and Lisa from Louisiana.
All right, so congratulations. You all have won an all access pass. We will reach out to you via email if you want. So you do not have to do anything. You don't have to reach out. We will email you within probably, it may be Monday or Tuesday of next week, but we will email you and let you know that you won, and we can either get that to you, or if you've already bought it, we'll refund you or gift it to someone else, whatever you choose. So we will reach out to you. That way you know that you won and you can get your prize.
Yes.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about our action plan. So we want you to just with more information, but with an actual plan of action that you can go on to implement. Using what you've learned. So I'm going to want you to get out a pen and paper. So I have a pen here.
Oh, that's what it was. Sorry.
Did you forget something?
Well, no, I really thought there was something I wanted to say, and I was like, I can't remember what it was. You were talking about the all access pass and how all the sessions are in there.
Yes.
I've seen several questions this week about whether or not things like this, or the keynote presentations with the Q&As, or the midday meetups, or the coffee chats, are those in the all access pass? And yes, they are all going to be in the all access pass. I think a few of them are already in there. We've been trying to, download and upload them in there throughout the week. But like she said, give us a couple days to get all of that nice and wrapped up into the beginning of next week. But yes, every single live event that we've done this week has been recorded and will be in your all access pass portal along with those sessions. But I'd seen some questions and wanted to address that.
Okay, awesome. So what we're going to do now is, I have a notebook that I'm going to be writing in and a pen. That's all you need, some paper and a pen. Or if you're more of a digital person, you can just take your phone, type in the notes app, whatever you want to do. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating this together. And I'll go ahead and tell you what the first thing is, and then I'll put a timer on the screen, and we'll be quiet for the most part during that timer. You'll just see us down here writing so that you actually have time to work on this. And if for some reason you're not in a place where you can do this right now, that's fine. Come back later. We're not going to take this actual session down, so you'll have this for a while, and you can come back later, and you'll be able to go ahead and do this if you're not in a good place to do it at the moment.
I've got my pen and paper.
All right, so we have our pen and paper, and for the first 5 minutes, what I want you to do is jot down any takeaways or action items you can think of without looking at your notes. So this is not consulting your notes, just what stands out, because that can tell you a lot about what's really resonating. It's just without even looking at your notes, what do you think? And I do not want you to be editing yourself here and thinking about I really want to do that, but that might be too much. And could I really do no, not the time for that. This is just writing down whatever comes to your mind, kind of like the brain dump, to get it all out of your head and on paper. So we're going to put the timer up, and we're just going to be writing, and that's what you're going to be doing while you see the timer counting down on the screen.
All right, I think we are back. What did you all write down? I'll tell you what I wrote down.
Okay.
I absolutely loved that Miss Freddie said that you can take your photos, search by the date, and then do your daily delete of everything for that day. Because here's what I realized, I only realized when I was writing this down why I love that so much. It gives you an end date for having your photos organized.
Yeah, you could do it in a year.
Yes, and so it's not just some never-ending process of well, someday I'll get back to my photos from 2007 and hopefully get them deleted. But if you stick with that simple habit every single day for 1 year, you will be done 1 year from now. And I think that it's so tangible and concrete, and that gets me excited because I can see the end in sight. And that makes a really big difference.
Yeah, and it's also fun when you get to look back at photos from a long time ago. It's more exciting than starting here and having just looking at photos from last month. I feel are less exciting. I had several takeaways and things, but one that I was going to share is so kind of random, but I was listening to Cass's session last night about zoning, creating zones in your home. And she talked a little bit about medicine going in most of the bathroom. Unless you take it every day, you might want it somewhere else. And I was realizing, okay, so I have this little turntable in my kitchen. Those are for the things I take every day. I have a multivitamin, those kinds of things that I'm taking pretty regularly. And it's getting too full and I'm having to kind of stuff things in, and I'm and it occurred to me while I was sitting there, I was you know what? I have medicines in there that we do not take very often at all, or probably I don't even need at all. I should just go through there, get off the ones, and if I still need them, put them in the bathroom with the other medicine. And then that way I don't have to open my cabinet and be super annoyed that they don't quite fit. So I know that was really small, but I also realized I wish we were still doing midday meetups every day, because that is the perfect kind of thing that I would do in that little 10 minutes, right? Because it would literally take 2 or 3 minutes. And I've also been putting it off because I thought that I needed to organize that entire section of cabinet. And I'm no, it would take 2 minutes just to go through those medicines, put the ones, throw away what is expired and I don't need. And then I don't necessarily have to set aside 30 minutes for an entire take everything out organizing project. So that was kind of one of my takeaways. You guys are welcome to share in the comments.
I've got a bunch.
Okay, we are sharing. So yes, please share if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. But okay, yeah, if people want to share.
Just a few that I'm seeing, use vertical space. Absolutely, yes, that is a game changer, especially if you have a small space. And that doesn't have to mean put an over-the-door rack on. Yeah. It can mean put a basket so you can stack a couple things and they stay in. Don't put it down, put it away. That is always a good tip. Have a follow-through Friday. Color coding your closet. Change one thing at a time for lasting power. Let's see. Less is more, and have a why when you buy storage and organization items.
Love that. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of them.
Okay, keep going.
Take inventory. Oh, I lost it. There it is. Take inventory of seasonal items before and after the holidays beginning this year.
Oh, that's smart.
Yes.
That's really smart.
That was, oh man. Yeah, we haven't, that was one of the new ones. Lisa is a professional organizer and talked about storing holiday decor specifically.
That's a good, yeah.
And I feel and that was on Friday, and sometimes by the end of the week, the week has gotten busy. But yes, she had a whole session specifically on, and not just Christmas holiday, but any seasonal decor that you might have, covered all of that in her session, which I just think is such a cool topic, because yes, it's such a random thing to organize. What do I do with the jack-o'-lantern I only put out for 2 months of the year?
Yeah, I know. I do agree. I feel that is a tricky area. And also, some people would declutter it all, and I think that's fine. But I actually like having seasonal decor. I love that I see this, I like change a lot. I like seeing something new and different, and it feels fresh and new. So I like to have some seasonal decor, but you're literally only using it once a year. So that's a really important topic.
Oh man, I think. Susie, I want to know if you got this from a speaker or if you came up with this yourself. Susie had the acronym DOOM. Didn't organize, only moved.
Oh, that's so good.
I don't know. Did you come up with this, Susie? You need to be doing a presentation if that was...
Yeah, that's a really good acronym.
That is awesome. So yes, DOOM. Didn't organize, only moved. Or it might have been from one of the sessions, and yes. I'm just not sure which one.
Yeah, there's so many, I can't remember all of them. And sometimes you watch them and something doesn't quite stick, and then somebody says it and you're oh, yeah, that's amazing. Why didn't I catch it when I watched the session? That's another reason why I love just being able to hear everyone else's comments and know that you're not alone and we're all working on this together. I love that about being able to do this. Okay, are we ready for step 2? Okay, let's go to step 2 now, and we're going to give 5 minutes for this. We're going to get shorter after this, okay? They're not all 5 minutes, but here what you're going to do is add to your list of the takeaways and any repeating themes, but you're going to consult your notes. So if you have notes or whatever, you can go ahead and consult those, or look at the, just looking at the schedule, you can bring that up on the computer if you don't have a printout. Go ahead and look at that, and as you're looking at that, what else comes to mind that you can add? So you can go ahead and put up that timer. And so we'll give you 5 minutes to do that. We'll be writing. We'll mute our mics so you don't hear us, the writing sounds. You'll see us on the screen, and we'll come back after the 5 minutes, and you can report back what you have found after doing that. All right, so hopefully you've added to your list while you've been consulting your notes and looking at the schedule. Maybe that refreshes your memory of things that you didn't think about earlier.
And there's so many sessions that sometimes, even just looking at the title of the session can be like, oh yeah, I forgot I even watched a session on setting up my wardrobe or on packing for travel in a carry-on or something like that.
Yes, I see some person that says label, label, label.
Yes.
I love that. Oh yeah, I could carry on about how much I love labeling, but
yes, build on the small wins. Your systems have to work on your best days and your worst days.
Oh, so true.
Yes.
Yes. So you've had a lot of amazing takeaways. Now you should have a list, and it might seem a little bit overwhelming, but we got something.
Oh, hello.
I don't know what I got going on. This is what's new on something, I guess.
There it is.
Okay, hold on.
Go back one more.
Yeah, we gotta go. Oh wait, no, I can't use your computer. I was trying to use the wrong computer. I'm like, that's not the one controlling the slides. Okay, so number 3 is what we are on.
There it is.
Okay, good. We got it up. I don't know. Maybe I need mouse usage training after this week. I seem to be having issues. Okay, so now I just want you to not necessarily be thinking about, we'll only do this for 2 minutes, not necessarily be thinking about what you learned necessarily, but just what is stressing you out right now the most about your home. That's just a good exercise, a brain dump, just like when you think about your home, what is stressing you out the most? So we're going to put 2 minutes up, we'll mute ourselves, and we'll come back in 2 minutes. You'll just see us writing.
All right.
All right, yeah, so if you want to share in the comments, what is stressing you about your home, you totally can. One of the things that stood out to me when I thought about this question is, we did the same exercise last year, and I had to think harder to think of things that were stressing me out. I think I've actually made a lot of progress in the last year. And maybe it's not. Like, not every year would I say, oh my goodness, in the last year I've made a lot of progress, because there's just a lot of different factors, a lot of life changes that might make it harder to make progress. But I realized I really have made a lot of progress in the last year, and the things are smaller and more minor. So hopefully you have that experience. And yeah, we all have things that are stressing us out, but this is going to help us to figure out where to focus our attention if we're thinking about like, what is it that is stressing us out?
Exactly. And you can just scroll through the comments and see that probably whatever it is you wrote down, somebody else is stressed about the same thing. And that's what we just kind of keep going back to. There's over, actually at this point, over 125,000 of you all signed up for Get Organized HQ Virtual this week. And so definitely don't feel like you are alone or the only one who is trying to organize and streamline your life and home. This is something like you can see in this community. This is something lots of people are pursuing the same thing.
Yes. And I mean, I've just seen everything from like basement to paper to
sewing room
stuff to desktop, all the things. Yes. So you're not alone. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to make a plan to help improve some of these things. So we're going to put on the timer for 3 minutes, and you're going to look at your list and take each item that you wrote, and you can mark it as belonging. Is it space stuff? Or is it the information, or is it the time? So that can really help you kind of sort out all the different stuff. What category does it belong to? Don't worry if you don't get through the whole thing, but just what you've written down, write down what category it belongs to. You can just put like a little letter beside it, however you want to do it. But we're going to go ahead and put on the timer for 3 minutes for that. All right, so hopefully you've been able to categorize your list. And I just want to say, don't stress if not everything fits perfectly into category. Like I'd written down that I'd made more progress than last year. And I'm kind of like, that doesn't really have a category. It's not about stressing about it. Some things just may not fit cleanly into a category, but we're just trying to get a sense of, where we should focus our attention. And then for 2 minutes, we're just going to tally up your markings, and this will give you an idea of what category to focus on first. So if you, for example, had the most in space and stuff, that's where you need to. Maybe it's information, maybe it's time, And again, you don't have to, it doesn't even mean that if you find that it's one category that you cannot deviate. This is just to get you an idea. If you're just feeling totally like, I don't know where to start, I need some extra help, this will give you an idea of where you might want to focus your attention. But it's not like a hard and fast rule that you're doing it wrong if you had 6 tallies for one and 5 for the other and you choose the other. You're also going to use kind of just your own gut feelings as well. But we're going to go ahead and put the timer up for 2 minutes, and you're just going to be tallying up the markings that you got in each of those 3 areas, which is space and stuff, information, and time. All right, so hopefully you've been able to tally up your markings and kind of get a sense of how many things you had in systems and space, or not systems, spaces and stuff, how much you had in information and how much you had for time. And that will tell you, give you just some idea of like another clue on what area you should start in. Again, it is not an exact science. You could let us know in the comments. I'm a little curious, like where did you have the most? I don't think I've asked that before, but I'm curious, like where people had the most. Mine, I think, was spaces and stuff, which kind of surprised me. Although I enjoy organizing information a lot. So I think that's why a lot of those I already kind of have systems down. And I feel like with spaces and stuff, maybe a little bit less so. And also I just love, well, I don't know. I also love organizing those as well. So, and I had less for time than I would have thought. So,
yes.
Yeah.
I was debating, what do you count meal prepping as? I put it as time.
Yes.
It's what I decided, because it's something that takes time, even though deciding what to cook is kind of information.
Yes. They kind of overlap a little bit, for sure.
So it's okay if you're kind of like, well, maybe it's a little bit of both.
Okay. All right. So then just for 2 minutes, you're just this is, again, we're trying to get ideas of where we should start, and we'll come away with a very specific plan. But go ahead and look through your list and circle any repeating ideas. So is there something that, a takeaway that you got multiple times or that were related, and you can just kind of circle and just kind of, read through your list and get those things fresh in your mind. So we're going to put up the timer for 2 minutes.
All right, I think we are back.
All right, so hopefully you did that, and that's just going to give you a better idea and a sense of what you need to work on. So we're not just like saying, hey, think out of the blue, what you need to work on. And then we'll go on to, we're almost done with this, exercise so you can have an action plan. So for 2 minutes, we're going to have you, based on your list and what we've already talked about, what is your next action step when it comes to organizing your spaces and stuff. And we'll do this for each of the 3 categories. Even though you might have one that you wanted to work on, that'll help you decide what to work on first. But when it comes to spaces and stuff, what is the one thing that you want to work on next? All right, so hopefully you were able to come up with your next action step. Again, don't stress. It doesn't have to be perfect, just something that stood out to you. Mine is definitely taking care of those medicines that I use every day. That's what I'm gonna work on spaces and stuff. And then, very simply, you can also share in the comments if you'd like to share. We love hearing what it is that your top thing. And again, it's really important to just have one. If you wrote down multiples, that's fine, but circle the next one you're going to do. Okay, and you come back to the Facebook.
What are you gonna do today?
Yeah, or tomorrow, very soon. And let us know in the Facebook group, when you do it. But we're going to say, based on your list, what's the next action step when it comes to organizing your information. And we're going to put the timer on for 2 minutes, and you're going to do it again. And you can go ahead and write in the comments whenever you have it. Go ahead and write it in the comments, and you can be reading the comments as well. Maybe it doesn't take you the full 2 minutes, so you can be doing that as well. So we're going to go ahead and put on the timer, and I'll come back in 2 minutes. All right, so hopefully you were able to let us know your action step when it comes to organizing your information. By now, I think you know the drill. The last one of these, we're going to state our next action step when it comes to organizing our time. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 minutes on the timer for you to do that. You can also be sharing in the comments. All right, so hopefully you are able to identify what your next action step should be when it comes to organizing your time. And again, it's fine to have multiples, but I want you to identify the first one you're going to do, because the decision of like, oh, well, I have these 12 things or however many things, that's what's not going to work. Okay. And then I think this is the last thing we're going to do, is number 10. We'll put the timer up, and we want you to go ahead and put these action steps on the calendar for this week. So put them on your calendar. This is when I'm going to do it. And if it is something that is like really a big project, like there's no way you could possibly do it this week, then what I want you to do is break it down. What's the first step of that project? Like if you were going to have a yard sale, the first step might be picking your yard sale date or something. So if it is like a really long thing, it doesn't make any sense to put it on the calendar this week, then put your first action step on your calendar for this week, and we will be checking up in the Facebook group for those of you to let us know, like, when did you actually accomplish the things that you put on your calendar. So we're gonna go ahead and put up the timer. All right, so hopefully you have now an action step with things on your calendar. You could set a reminder to do this every week, like go back to your notes and put some action steps. It doesn't have to be big, and we want to make sure that we are celebrating every single win, no matter how big or how small. And if you are in that Facebook group, I think I actually put a link to it down below. We got some questions. We don't plan to shut it down until next year's event, so you can join there. It's totally optional, you don't have to, but if you want to join us there and you haven't already, that's a place where we keep each other encouraged and talk about what we're learning, and you can come back there to let us know when you've accomplished whatever you put on your calendar. Mine is obviously going to be those medicines. I'm also wanting to time how long it takes me.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Because I'm just curious. I don't think it'll take me too long, and then it'll feel so nice when I have just that one little turntable with the medicines I need, and I don't feel like things are kind of falling off.
And I feel like that is such a classic example, right, of something that's probably going to take like 4 minutes for you to come up with a solution. But it's something that every time you go to take your daily medicines is aggravating you, that can be fixed in 4 minutes. And I think we all have those things. And so I would just encourage you, as you kind of go through the next couple of weeks, pay attention to that aggravation. We're so used to it. We're so used to stepping over whatever's on the floor or trying to stuff the vitamins back into the container that we kind of become numb to it. But try to open up your senses to be aware to that, because so many of them are quick fixes that you all day, every day with these little things. And so pay attention to that. Actually invite it. It's almost exciting when you find that, because that is a really good indicator that is a great place where you can implement an organizing solution.
Yes. And, going along with that, be patient with your progress. Yeah. It's small steps over time, not everything at once. And imagine where you will be at next year's Get Organized HQ Virtual after taking the small, consistent steps. And hopefully that will inspire you to keep going. And always when it gets hard, think about your why, the why behind why you want this, which for me is a home with less stress and more peace that is a true haven. Actually, before we do this one, let's go ahead and do a giveaway. Yes. And then we'll, of course, do one last midday meetup where we can declutter. But first, I want us to go ahead and do a giveaway. So for this giveaway, we are going to be giving away 5 time management books. These are, we're going to put them up on the screen to show you what it is. So
this was in the goodie bag in the digital form.
Yes, but we actually have it available in our shop. There is a link to the shop down below in the description in a printed form that you can get mailed to your door. Do you want to show them the cover?
It might be frozen.
Oh, well, okay. You can't see much if I can hold it up if we are frozen on this camera. Sometimes you get too many cameras going on, and but we have a time management, and it's just printed for you just so it's easy to flip through. It's easy to see. It's easy to, it's just mailed to your door, and I really like that. Or you can sit outside on your porch, and look through it. So I will go ahead and I think it's working. It's a little bit bright.
Yes.
Very bright.
Not quite that bright in real life.
Yeah, I promise you. You can see it. It's just our exposure is a little bit off. We can adjust it there, but still not fantastically. But that's okay. So basically, that's what you will be winning is one of these time management books. Right. So let's go ahead. Do we have our
5 winners of the time management guide mailed to your door? Like we said, it's in the goodie bag in the digital form, but we're going to send you the physical copy so that you have it. Debbie from California, Danica from Utah, Georgine from Minnesota, Raina from, I don't know my state abbreviations. Nebraska, NE. Okay. We have learned this week that me and state abbreviations are... That should be my next action step. Yes. And true. Kristen from New York.
All right. So you guys have won that time management books that will be mailed to you. So you can enjoy it in that format. Okay. We still have more giveaways to come. So we're going to do our last midday meetup here together. Then we'll come back from that and we'll play a video from the speakers asking the question of how to keep the momentum going. That's always a favorite. So that's what we have left for you. And I should mention, if you haven't gotten your pass, that price is going up really soon. It was scheduled for noon, but we did push it out because we're still on. So we wanted you to be able to get it while we're on. So you have just a little bit less to sneak in a little bit of time left to sneak in and get it for a sixth of the original price. So if you have been eyeing that, you're going to want to go ahead and do that. But let's go ahead for our very last. Wow, I'm trying to put all my words together for our very last and final midday meetup of Get Organized HQ Virtual 2025. We are going to put up the timer. You're not even going to see us. We won't be on the screen at all, just like we did for all the other midday meetups. And we want you to clutter as much as you can in the 10 minutes, and then we'll be back to check in and see what you did, because we want you to actually get something done during this session. The timer is on. All right. Well, I hope you got a lot done in our final midday meetup for this event. I see people in the comments are already telling us what they got decluttered. If you want to join in, if you haven't already, let us know what you got done. You can do a lot of decluttering in just 10 minutes.
Oh, you can. Marin shared, I decluttered 24 books, 1 puzzle, 1 set of salt and pepper shakers, and found a piece of trash to throw away.
Oh, good. The other day, I found a gift card.
Oh, did you declutter that?
No, I kept that. It was to the Cheesecake Factory, so I thought I might want that.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. I saw someone, I think, who said they decluttered their laundry room, sorting mail. Yes, there's like, mail is so frustrating because it's always the unmarked boring envelopes that have the like really important something or another from the IRS. And then mixed in with that, you have all these envelopes that look important and they're like, you've been pre-qualified.
I've also noticed lately when it says something like very important, do not throw away, that means absolutely nothing, please throw it away. It's an ad.
Exactly.
The real important mail doesn't even say that.
Exactly. Yes. I see one person said they're just going through a miscellaneous box right now. I get those sometimes where there's just like, what even is this? It's just things that go all over the place. Going through paperwork and mail on my desk. Very nice. Yes. Let's see. So this is like actually more like a tip, but Debbie said I walked past 2 free library boxes and I'm going to go to both of them next week, and you can put decluttered books in those if you have like the little library in your town. Is that what it's called? Little library or little free library?
Something like that. Yeah. We have some of those. All right. Well, man, people are making a lot of progress. I love this. I love, not only do you have some things in your calendar to do, but you just got some decluttering done. And before we move on to the next thing, I think we need another giveaway. All right. So if you just need to enter the giveaway once, and you're already entered. So let's go ahead, and what we're giving away now are mini notebooks. So we have these in the shop. Do you want to flip through one of them for us? They're literally what they say. When he puts his hand there, do you want to put your hand so they can see like the size?
Oh, it's frozen.
Oh, it's frozen. Okay.
You can hold it up on our camera. If you switch to our camera, they'll see.
Yeah, just switch to our camera. But you can see some of the covers
Mini
there.
notebook!
So look
Yay!
at how small they are. And they're just like lined pages on the inside, like this. And so they're just perfect for like putting in your purse, having like next to the phone. I know we don't have like...
We talked about the 3 bucket system and having a place to like write down your main priorities for today. And something like this is perfect for that. Like just a simple, like you can flip to a new page each day, write down your main priorities for every single day. And you get like a fresh page every day. Like you can use these for so many things. A meal plan, taking notes with you, like if you go to conferences, like for your job or something like that, this fits really easily. Just like slip it in your backpack.
Yeah, I take it every time I go. Yeah, so I have that. Or on the airplane, I love having like just something little in my purse that I don't have to dig out.
Like you just never know when you're going to be like, I want to write this down. For some reason or other.
Exactly. So these are perfect for that. So we're going to have 5 of you are going to win one of our choice that we will mail to you. So let's go ahead, and who are our 5 lucky winners? And don't worry, we still have the grand prize coming.
Yes. All right. Congratulations to Brittany from Texas, Michelle from Louisiana, April from Washington, Joellen from California, and Cheryl from Colorado.
All right. So congratulations. We will be emailing you within a few days if you were the winner. Whatever email address you put into the giveaway, we will contact you so that we can get you your prize. And of course, if you already purchased something like the pass that we gave away, we would refund it for you, or you can choose to gift it to someone. All right. So we've now given those away. So we are very close to wrapping up. The next treat that we have for you is we are going to play a video where we ask, not all of our speakers, but some of our speakers are going to give you their advice for how to keep the momentum going. So you'll be able to hear from them. You won't see us at all. It'll just be moving really quickly through them giving you their advice. So you're going to be able to watch that. And then we'll come back, and of course we'll do the grand prize. And of course I have to say one more time, if you don't have that pass yet, we did extend the deadline by just a little bit because we're still live, but this is kind of your last chance to get it for a 1/6 of the regular price. So I don't want anyone to miss out, because I always get emails every year and I feel really bad. So I want to make sure that you're aware that is your last chance. All right, so let's go ahead and we will play that video for you.
The power of a 5-minute pickup. That is how you maintain decluttering progress that you make, is 5 focused minutes, 2 minutes if you can't do 5, right? Like 5 focused minutes of putting things away at any point during the day, as often as you think of it, is going to go so far in keeping your house under control and maintaining the progress that you've made.
Implement, evaluate, and adjust. Set one thing to implement, evaluate it after 2 weeks, and adjust what isn't working.
Set yourself up with an early win. And here's why. Our brains are hardwired for negativity. If we're not doing things or things aren't working, we start to get down on ourselves and we don't feel motivated. But when we do something right, we feel inspired and we want to take the next right step. So early on, pick something that you've learned that you know you can do that's really simple and take that next right step. That success is going to help build confidence and motivation so you want to keep going.
Well, you have 2 options, and this is what I tell every single person that I come across. Number 1, get accountability. Number 2, put your money behind it and join the program. If something's really speaking to you, invest. Jump in, trust yourself, believe in yourself, find people that are going to support you and give it a try.
You need to break up your decluttering into small manageable chunks. So when you're working, for example, in your kitchen, do one drawer, one cupboard, one shelf, one category of items at a time. And over time, slowly but surely, you will go there. Don't be tempted to pull everything out and then see a mountain of stuff, because you will get really overwhelmed and disheartened very quickly. Keep breaking this project down, and then over time, you will see the changes and your mindset will change as well. Good luck.
And I'd suggest you sit down with a piece of paper and a pen. Write down all the things that inspired you. Get organized this year. Maybe you want to deal with your paper clutter, or maybe you're going to revamp your wardrobe, or you've got some new recipes to test. And just look at your list and look at one little action step from that thing that you can add to your daily routine. You know, maybe it's sitting down and making a menu plan, or you're going to say, okay, 15 minutes every Saturday morning, I work on my wardrobe. But just look at the things that have inspired you and take one action step and move forward on that. And then once you've got that under your belt, you just keep on adding more.
I promise this isn't a sales pitch. They didn't tell me to say this, but get the all access pass, because that way you can watch something, implement it, really think about it, really make change, and then you can move on to the next one. I know that we have this tendency, myself included, to cram as much in and listen to as many as possible. And then at the end of the day, we do nothing. We change nothing because it was just a fire hose of information. But by getting the all access pass, you can then completely take your time, go through it, take as long as you need to, implement things, and not forget things along the way.
Find out what makes you excited about a particular project. My journal, as an example, I have washi tape and print and cut stickers that I use as labels for the days, and I use all different fun ways to keep myself interested and accountable. Now, making things fun and, as you can see, colorful is pretty much the way that I kind of trick my brain into staying invested in it. So it may not work for you, but find out what makes you invested in a project for the long term and how it works for you. Instead of making you work for the system, make the system work for you.
The Get Organized HQ, you are going to be like on fire with so much motivation and so many ideas on what you want to do. And I just want to caution you, don't jump in and start decluttering and reorganizing every closet, because you're going to hit burnout fast. Pace yourself. I want you to get some kind of a planner or checklist, and I want you to kind of prep out 1 month at a time. This is going to be my focus. These are the things that I want to get done. And don't make it monumental. Cleaning out the garage is not an easy task. But if you clean out one section, or toys, or, I'm going to clean out my, bug sprays or whatever, you can do that in 15 minutes when you've got a Saturday, and move towards that bigger goal. So smaller tasks spread out over a larger amount of time is more likely to give you the success that you're looking for.
Don't go into it thinking that you need to do everything that you hear at one time, that you're going to make all of these changes at once. I would say pick 3 things that you're going to do and then implement them, and then come back the next week and pick 3 more things and kind of take your time and go at it at a good pace.
Choose a particular day, like maybe the 19th. I was born on the 19th, so the 19th is easy. Choose a particular day and once a month revisit your goals for organizing. And it can be as simple as, did you accomplish this last month? Did you do this last month? Or making a new plan for where you are at the moment, but just pick one day a month to revisit your goals and make a little bit of progress.
Okay, so I'm a planner. I like to write things down so that I can keep myself on track. And I think this really ties in well with the Get Organized HQ, because we're so motivated. We're so excited after we watched all these amazing speakers and heard their advice and tips, that making sure that we keep that motivation going strong for the long haul, it can be a little tricky. So by listing out 3 to 5 things that you really want to work on every single week, this can really help to keep your mind where it needs to be, right? So I would do Sunday's my planning day before I head off to bed. I'll make a list of 3 to 5 things, jot it down on a Post-it note, set it right next to my coffee maker. So I'm reminded every morning of what I need to be conscious of and what I need to work and focus on. So Post-it notes, they're your friend when you're trying to make a lifestyle change. Good luck.
Don't try to do it all. Don't try to watch every session. Don't try to implement everything that has been, taught. Pick and choose what's right for you in your current season of life and go with that. That's a great place to start, because you're going to have all of this information that you maybe have bought the all access pass, or have watched them and just taken notes and aren't ready to implement. But you can do those down the road in a different season of life, or when something arises that it pertains to. But just pick and choose a handful now that really, really resonate with you and your current situation, and go for those.
We need to be aware of the media that we're consuming, because we're going to be influenced one way or another, whether or not we realize it. So I encourage everyone to unfollow accounts that make them want to overconsume and pile up a home that's stressful, and instead follow accounts that are about decluttering or contentment, simple living, that kind of thing, as well as listen to podcasts that can help you on your journey. Shameless plug, I host the Paring Down podcast, and the idea is to help you live a more intentional life through owning less stuff. And when we're consuming the kind of media that reflects the life we want to live, we're going to stay on track a whole lot easier.
I always find that if you tackle the biggest pain point or your biggest headache first, everything else feels easier after that. So I recommend that attendees start with the thing that they are struggling the most with, the area that they are struggling the most to organize. And once you can solve that issue or make that a little bit better, everything else seems so much easier. So start with the hardest thing first, and then you can start to take steps towards the other areas in your home, in your craft space, wherever it is that you want to make progress in.
Focus on 1% changes. When you try to do everything at once, you'll make a lot of progress for a short amount of time. And that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for steady increases in progress over the long haul. So we have been conditioned to believe that if I can't transform, I'm not doing it well, I'm not doing it right, I have to be perfect, or it's not worth doing. And that's absolutely false. Focus on the 1% changes. You will make mistakes. You will feel like you're regressing, but a graph going up has downs in it. No graphs go straight up. We have to be prepared for these downshifts. Even if we're looking at the stock market, we see these. So 1% changes consistently long term.
Picture where you want yourself to be and build the habits that you need to get yourself there. And it doesn't have to be complicated, and these don't have to be huge steps, even if it's just something small and something that you can achieve. Over time, those habits become automatic, and it doesn't even feel like a chore anymore. It's just something that you're doing automatically. And then reward yourself. Little rewards always go a long way. because you should be proud of what you achieve.
Pick your top 3 or 4 sessions that really spoke to you and do one thing out of that session from each session. So pick 3 or 4 new things that you want to implement. Maybe start out with just one of them for the first month. And then the next month, you're going to start the next one and the next month, and just add it on slowly. If you try to do all too much at once, you're just going to feel overwhelmed, and it's going to be just, I can't do it all. And it just adds too much to your plate. So instead, add one new thing at a time. And once you feel like you've mastered that and it's just part of your routine, then add the next new thing. And that's the best way to add and change up kind of your routine and making sure it sticks and it fits, or it fits and then it sticks.
Don't get overwhelmed by all the information that was within Get Organized HQ. I know there's so much amazing information, but maybe pick 1 to 3 things that you could implement today and feel like you can really stick with for 30 days. Again, I go back to the habits. Try to make some of these things habits, stick with them for 30 days, because once things become systems in our life, then they're easy to continue to do even on days when you're lacking discipline or motivation. When it's just sort of part of our routine in our day-to-day, it's easier to stick with. So don't feel like you have to do that with everything you've learned. Maybe start small and just pick a few things that seem doable right now.
With my coaching clients, I always tell them, you cannot do everything, but you can make one decision this week to make your life better. And so that's what you need to do with this information that you've gained. It's so much, but just try one thing. And then next week, try another thing. And then just keep trying, keep adding.
One of my favorite ways of having continual improvement and learning something and not forgetting about it weeks or months later is to tell people about it. So I might say to my best friend, I learned this amazing thing the other day. And what I'm doing about it is I'm implementing this system. I'm trying this new thing. Or I might tell a work colleague or my husband or my kids. Telling somebody else about something solidifies it in your own brain, but it reinforces for you that you are the type of person that is actually doing this change, that has learnt this thing. And so if you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to forget this, I don't want it to wean off over the next couple of weeks, start telling people about what you've learnt, the changes you're making, and the difference that you're seeing. And that will really make a difference to your long haul ability to keep up with the amazing work that you're already doing.
Find systems that work for you. Don't just copy and paste what you're seeing in the seminar. The systems that you'll be seeing during these videos have been created by the person for their personal home. Now, that's not to say that you can't take away certain things. You should be able to take away the understanding of the process and use it as a tool on your tool belt. The process that they have created for their home works because of the certain people, places, and items that they may have in their home. Yours are going to be different. So making sure you're understanding that. Never just copy and paste, because that's the easiest way to fail. Instead, use them as a tool on your tool belt and make sure you're implementing processes and creating these lessons into things that will work in your own home for you and your family.
Habit stacking is a great way to ensure that you are continuing when it comes to certain lifestyle or routine changes that you want to be sustainable. And what this looks like is implementing a new habit or routine along with something that you are already doing on a regular basis, like practicing being mindful while you're brushing your teeth in the morning, or doing a cleanup of the kitchen at night after you have had your meal. Anything that you can pair with something that you're already doing, and also keeping in mind that you don't want to try and do too much at once. It can help in the beginning when you have that boost of motivation to do a lot and get a lot done. But when it comes to long-term habits, trying to start small and then add on to there when things feel more regular can help.
If you like to make lists, just put it on your to-do list every single day. And it doesn't have to be a lot of time. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Start your favorite book or a show, a movie, and just set your timer and do what you can do. Again, start with 5 minutes. If all you can do is 5 minutes, that's amazing. That is such a good start. And if you don't know where to start in your house, I always say start from right when you walk into the door. What is the first thing you see? Maybe it's your entryway. Clean it up, organize that space. It's the first thing other people see, and it's the first thing you see when you walk in. I think it will have the most impact and really get you started on your journey.
2 things. First, all the speakers at Get Organized HQ, of course, have email lists or Instagrams. And so getting connected with a few of your favorites and staying with them will give you just those rolling tips day by day and week by week to keep you motivated. Second, Of course, I recommend that you take notes. So what might you do with those notes? I'm a huge fan of recurring reminders in my calendar. So maybe it's every Sunday afternoon, or maybe it's the first Monday of the month, something where it's like weekly or monthly, where you're just writing a little note to yourself in your digital calendar that will pop up. You might write, "Hey, Katie, how are you doing with your organization goals?" Or, "Hey, Katie, here's a tip from Get Organized HQ Virtual," and just actually paste in or type in your notes that you took, so that each month you're getting a little like love letter from a different speaker, and you're stretching that out throughout the year so that it's not all in the first week.
Be in community with other like-minded individuals, whether it's a group on Facebook, a group of your friends. Get together, do some decluttering and organizing challenges together, and use each other for accountability.
The secret to implementing any new organization idea into your everyday life is to think of it in terms of systems, not just one little activity, but in the big picture as a whole. So how is this change in my life going to make my whole life easier? And I'll give you an example that I used in one of the previous answers. I've decided that I'm not doing my grocery shopping anymore. I'm having my groceries delivered for a very small fee. And I realized that that one change has improved my whole system of food prep, cooking, and just the general fun in my household, because I'm not doing something I dread. I have more time, and I can plan my menu without getting sidetracked in the store. So I recommend that you go through this conference and think about these tips we're giving you in terms of systems, not just this one activity.
Remember, Rome wasn't cluttered in a day. If you're doing this summit to make big changes in your life, it's going to take a while. Don't get frustrated if you can't implement everything at once. You know, what happens is we learn all this new information, we get super gung-ho, and then our motivation fades out really quickly. Take in all the new information, implement the easiest things first, bask in your success, and then build on it. But understand that you may take 5 steps forward and 2 steps back, and that's okay. That's natural. You're human. You're making big changes in your behavior, and it's going to take a little while, and that's okay.
Try to take one new thing a week that you've learned in these sessions and implement it into your schedule. And once you get that down pat, then move on the next week and try something else new that you've learned in these sessions. That way, every week, you're continuing to grow. You're continuing to take these things you've learned and add them to what you already do, and it just grows from there. You don't have to do it all at once. That gets overwhelming. So just take one at a time, maybe a week at a time.
Focus on the task, not the result. So what I mean by this is, when we want to achieve something, put something into action, do a project, whatever it is, we focus on where we want to end up instead of focusing on the individual steps that it takes to get there. But that leaves us feeling like we aren't making progress fast enough, like it's so far away, there's so many steps, and it can be really daunting. So instead of focusing on the result of where you want to be, while that's great to inspire you, on a daily basis, focus on what is the step that you are taking to get to that result. And focus just on the step, because that step, when you do that each day, one small step at a time, you will reach that result, and it won't be as daunting, and it will be a lot more peaceful and less stressful.
Separate your ambitions from your practice. Your ambitions may be big, but if you want long-term results, keep your efforts out of the gate small and consistent. Once you have momentum, you can build on it.
Write down 1 to 3 takeaways for the sessions that you commit to, and then follow through with those things. Make a checklist daily or weekly so that you can gradually make those things a habit, and then you'll come away feeling like you really got something out of it. You can't do everything, but you can do 1 to 3 things.
Choose one small habit to carry forward, just one. After an event like this, it's tempting to try to do everything at once, but real change comes from consistency, not intensity. So start with something simple like a 5-minute tidy or resetting one surface at the end of the day. And make it easy enough that you can do it even on your busiest days. Then, here's the magic part. Pair it with something you already do, like making coffee or brushing your teeth, so it becomes automatic over time. That one small habit builds momentum, and momentum creates motivation. From there, you'll naturally start to do more. That's how this event becomes a turning point for you. It's not just a moment or a burst of inspiration, but the start of lasting change.
I am a huge believer in the impact of small changes and small consistent actions and of having a plan. So pick a tool that you love, whether that is a paper planner, Google Calendar, a project management system like Asana, and take, I don't know, half an hour to an hour to put in the tasks you want to complete. Put them on your calendar, because what gets scheduled gets done, and be realistic about it. Don't say you're going to like clean out your whole house in one day, right? Break it into very, very small, doable, sustainable steps, and then schedule it and write it down, like I said, in whatever tool you already love that already works for you, so that it becomes a no-brainer, it becomes part of your routine, and you have set yourself up for success in the long run.
Focus on one thing at a time. Once you feel comfortable that you've established a new ritual, then habit stack and work on adding another routine or ritual to your day or week or month, however your life looks like.
All right, so hope you enjoyed hearing from all the speakers. They had some wonderful things to share with us, and I hope that just inspires you. We want you to keep up the momentum and come back next year with a lot of progress, a little at a time, constantly celebrating your wins. Join that Facebook group if you want to keep in touch. Also, make sure you hit subscribe on the channel. I'll be making plenty more videos, and we can keep in touch that way as well. But I think it's time for our final giveaway winner.
Absolutely.
And you will be winning a $100 shop credit to the Get Organized HQ shop. There you can purchase all sorts of things. Our planner when it comes out, the binder, the mini notebooks, the time management guide, tons of digital ebooks, courses, all sorts of things. So you can use it on whatever you would like in the Get Organized HQ shop. And so one person is going to win a $100 credit. So let's go ahead
All
and
right, our grand prize winner is Kim from Alabama. Congratulations, Kim.
All right, congratulations. We will reach out to you via email in the next few days to get you your prize. All right, I mean, I cannot believe we are finally here.
Yes.
But it is really the last couple minutes of Get Organized HQ Virtual 2025. And I mean, we cannot end this without giving a huge thank you. We are the ones that you all see on the camera, but there is so much that happens behind the scenes that you don't see, that we absolutely positively could not do this without. I mean, first of all, the speakers, you all, first of all. I mean, if you weren't here,
it'd be really boring.
Yes. So you all coming.
Laura and I talk to each other all the time.
That's true. Yes. So you all coming and showing up and, you know, realizing how important it is, how important all these things are is so important. And then all of our speakers, obviously we could not do it without them, and we have well over 100 this year, many of them new this year, many of them returning, and we are so grateful to every one of them for so generously sharing their time, their expertise, many of them coming on live and all of those things. So we're grateful for them. And then our entire team behind the scenes that just, they work so hard. They start work. I mean, they'll be working on next week, you know, like literally, year round, working on this. We have Claire.
If you've looked at anything over the course of this week and you've been like, man, that's like really beautiful, Claire, 100%. That's because of Claire.
Yes, she creates such beautiful things. We're so grateful for that. We have Debbie, who has put in, I mean,
if you have sent an email to customer service this week, I would love for you, like, and we respond to these emails. She's sitting in that inbox. Like, can you mention in the comments, like, just so you can see how many emails that she is responding to and fielding and finding links that people need and answering questions. So huge shout out to her for that.
Yeah, and I think she's working like literally 18 plus hours a day to make sure you're getting answers as quickly as possible. And that's not all. I mean, she's very instrumental in helping all the logistics of all the different things that we have to do. That's just one of the many things that she does. So we're so thankful to have her. We could not do it without her. We also have Stacy, who we could not do it without her either.
Correct.
She has written every single one of the handwritten notes and then scanned them in. I know sometimes people ask what font that is. It's not a font.
It's
she
her handwriting.
literally wrote every single one of those and we scanned them in. She's done many other things with those.
The cheat sheets and the transcripts and the worksheets. So if you have that all access pass and you enjoy any of the bonus materials that we put with the sessions, that is thanks to Stacy and her super, super hard work. Like, think about 112 sessions.
I know.
She didn't just watch 112 sessions. She watched them, took notes on them, worked on transcripts and cheat sheets and worksheets for them. Like, it is a lot of work that she does for us.
And it has to happen in a relatively short time.
Yes.
So very impressive. She's also been in the Facebook group, helping out in there a ton. So she has been so instrumental. We have Jeff, who has, so much tech. There's so much tech involved in something like this. And he just works tirelessly, creating all the tech, creating the pages, all those kinds of things.
Yes, Jeff is the one that I send little videos to, and I'm like, I broke this.
Yes.
Do you know how to fix it?
Yes, that happens sometimes.
I literally broke something that he had already fixed and he had to refix. So that is the level at which we push Jeff. So he is always so patient and comes in, fixes all my problems.
So we're so thankful to have him on our team. Also Rim, who does some tech, but a lot of video editing. Every single one of the videos, he edited. I think he's helping, with all sorts of things related to that. He also edits my YouTube videos. If you've seen any of those.
He edited that video we just showed from the speakers.
Yes, so could not do it without him. We also have Naomi, who's helped us with social media and answering a lot of your comments and questions on Instagram and Facebook and things like that. So thanks so much to her. We want to thank our new tech guy over here, Jason, my husband. Hi.
There he is.
Been helping us out this year with tech, and that has been amazing. It has been amazing I used to have to worry about every little detail of all the tech setup and the cameras and all this, and so having that off my plate has been amazing.
Absolutely.
And then just in general, our entire families, because we are very busy, not just this week, but leading up to it, but certainly this week that it's kind of like we're gone on a business trip, because even though we're literally at home, we're busy all the time, and we just literally could not do it without their support.
And when we're not doing this, we're probably staring at the wall or something.
So without their support and encouragement, I wouldn't do this if my family wasn't helping encourage me and they weren't excited. And even my kids, they want to show their stuffies on the first live. They might be out there watching now. They're, how'd it go today, mommy? They're so excited too, and that just means the world to us. And we just could not do it without all of these people. So I never want you to think that just because you don't actually see everyone on camera, they are all very instrumental, and we're just so thankful for all of them. And we're just so thankful for everyone being here and for us having another amazing Get Organized HQ virtual.
125,000 of you. Can you believe it?
Yes. So I think when I see that number, I just think how we are not alone. If you are struggling, if some things aren't going smoothly, you're not alone. We're in this together, and we are going to create homes that are havens. So can't wait to see you next year.
Absolutely.